pissed off have you gotten from playing a video game? Well, nowhere near the level of Steven Cebula, hopefully. Steven Cebula, or Cebula, of Sacramento, California, is facing a prison sentence, possibly, because he kept saying racist and mean and violent things to people in Blizzard's game Heroes of the Storm. And then they finally silenced him. And he got so mad that the 20-year-old made online threats from July 2nd to 3rd, saying things to Blizzard, who makes the game. Careful, Blizzard, I live in California and your headquarters is here in California. You keep silencing me in Heroes of the Storm, and I may or may not pay you a visit with an AK-47 among some other, quote, fun tools. It would be a shame to piss off the wrong person. Do you agree, Blizzard? They did a sting operation, found out where he lived, they got his IP address, and then they arrested him. And he faced a maximum penalty of 5 years and up to $250,000 in fines. Did I say that right? Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Hashtag Dark Elf Lives Matter.
Ice him out, Blizzard.
FTL for the loss. Great 5 words
Yes!
today.
Woo!
Terrible words today. Okay, I found that in. This is an amazing story.
This is amazing.
This guy got so mad. You got to reevaluate yourself when you say things like, "I'm going to bring an AK-47 if you keep silencing me in Heroes of the Storm."
Did they say how old he was?
28.
20. Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a man who has presumably dedicated his life to video games.
To Heroes of the Storm,
Yes.
one could presume.
Yeah.
And he also, if he's been a gamer as long as I can guess, he probably also has a whole arsenal of horrible things to say in chat, like pent up in his brain.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You gotta be f***ing shit me!
He's just been saying for years and getting away with it.
He's like walking his dog, and he's like,
But
I'm going to rape your mom. I should say that.
But see, isn't that terrible that when I heard this story and they said that he was saying these really offensive things, it wasn't like, meh, like a lot of times I look at this stuff with a little bit of skepticism. Like, well, what really maybe it's they were being too PC. Like, what are we talking about here? And there was none of that. There was no doubt in my brain when I read this story that I was like, I bet he said some horrible stuff. What does that say about gamer culture? That unfortunately, it's not shocking that a lot of gamers just kind of spew this hatred out at a video game chat.
So I play League of Legends occasionally, and they over time have kind of changed the like post-game situation to encourage you to be nice. It's like, if this person was nice, give them a thumbs up. If they were cool, if they were mean, you can report them. And I think they have over time developed a system where it's like, all right, here's our line.
Yeah.
And everyone is expected to say something terrible. Like, from the moment someone realized that if you in Halo kneel down on someone's dead body, it looks like you're putting your balls.
teabagging.
Yeah. So from the moment that happened, people are like, "Oh, this is going to be great." And it's fun when there's like a child, you're playing boxing on like, PlayStation, and a 12-year-old is telling you what a pussy you are. Like, I like that. I think that's funny.
Because you can definitely hear that their balls haven't dropped in their voice. And you know that that's like the only... they're not going to actually follow through on those insults.
Yes.
Because they have a bedtime and they have a curfew.
They can't sneak out.
Yeah, but I grew up and I've been around some gamers, and like, I think there's definitely a line. Like, I had friends of mine who played Halo, and they would go, they wouldn't like say any like mean shit to people. They would troll by they'd put like... their team flag would be like a cat, and then they would just meow at people all the time. And so everyone would be like, "F you, what are you doing in the chat?" And they just go, "No." That's the kind of trolling I think we need to have.
Yeah.
All this stuff, like, you can say, people are just, they're getting off on making threats and thinking no one's going to follow through on it. And guess what? We live in the future, guys. People can track where you live. And and the cops are gonna come for you.
It's illegal. We were talking about this before we were filming, that I don't think trolls realize that when you cross a line with threats, you actually do break a law.
Yeah.
You can't just say, like, I'm going to do the following things and here are those details, and even if you don't do them, it's still breaking the law. I don't think that there's that connection.
I've heard of people who do, like, swatting, or they'll call and say, like, oh, this person's, like, making threats, and they'll send a SWAT team to their house. That's illegal, too, because trolls are just calling to get the SWAT team to come to their house That's a waste of police resources. It's making a false report. But the people who are calling and making those calls clearly they don't care that they're doing anything bad. And then they're going to get in trouble too because they're not thinking about the consequences of their actions.
Right, because you're in a virtual world.
Right,
You
that's what
don't
it
realize
is.
there are real consequences.
Right.
And a lot of them, we were talking on one of the shows about Milo and all, trolls and people who'd shit disturb. And they always resort back to their First Amendment rights, which I'm totally in favor of. There are plenty of ways you can roil the pot. But like maybe if all these people put out all the like Blizzards and Twitters and Facebooks, they have these very general catch-all community standards. But if they put out like, here are the things, once you make a very concrete threat of people, I mean, you can't say like, I might show up at your house with an AK-47.
Free speech only goes so far because you can have free speech on, in public. You can basically have free speech for whatever you want. But once you're in a private atmosphere, like on a video game platform or on Twitter or on Facebook, you have to abide. That's the shit you don't read, the terms and conditions.
Right.
That's where it says, hey, don't make threats against the company.
Right. When you
Or
sign
don't say
those,
abusive
Yeah.
things.
when you say I agree, you are allowing Blizzard to come to your house with AK-47s. Like you don't read that, but that's
Yeah,
always in
you
there.
always skim
Apple,
past it.
all of them can show up at your house
We
and
can swat
kidnap
you
your ball.
because you clicked I agree to the terms.
Right.
And
But
most people don't know that.
You can't do that to them.
Well, and I also think that obviously that is untrue. But what was I going to? I totally lost my train of thought. I was going to say something about.
You're stupid.
No, I was going to say, so once you join Twitter or Blizz, shut up! But I was going to say something like, once you join like Twitter or like Blizzard or anything, that is a private platform. It's their call. So I think you make a good point, Jay. When you're out in public, you can say whatever you want. You can go out there and, have all the hate speech or whatever. That's okay. But as soon as you join a platform, you're on their turf. They are allowed to say who they want on their private platform. It's a privately owned company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's capitalism at its finest, guys.
What do you guys think about capitalism? Is it at its finest? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. What's the best thing you've heard someone say on a video game? What's the worst thing you've heard that's kind of a mess? And we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.